So welcome everybody. Our band this afternoon again is once again the Salvation Army band from Felixstowe, and the band leader, John Pilgrim, is ready to play for us this afternoon. Our first march on group, of course, is the 356 Felixstowe ATC Squadron, and we'll ask John now to play, and the ATC will march on. Thank you, John. Association and the Aircrew Association, who include the Air Gunners. So welcome to you all here this afternoon. The Iron Crows, who you can see down here, no mistaking them. They are here, of course, on behalf of the Royal British Legion and help also collect and fundraise for the British Legion. So nice to see them here this afternoon. We have Mr. Richard Barker, Vice President of Martlesham.
Ladies and gentlemen, this year is particularly poignant, marking as it does the 100th anniversary of the start of World War I, the 70th anniversary of the D-Day landings, and the end of UK combat operations in Afghanistan. All of these events have allowed us the opportunity to reflect on the cost and sacrifice of war. There has been much debate in the media in recent weeks about what we've achieved in Afghanistan, and was it worth the cost of the lives of 453 British servicemen. As a military officer, that's not for me to comment on. However, what I do know is that the country we're leaving behind is now a far better society than the one we encountered 13 years ago, particularly with opportunity for women and children. The necessity of the D-Day landings, in comparison, is not questioned. They were an essential requirement to rid Europe of the Nazi yoke. But the cost of D-Day, in terms of human life, was huge. The Allies landed around 156,000 troops in Normandy. Of these, 4,413 were killed. In the ensuing Battle of Normandy, the Allies lost 53,700 troops. However, even these figures pale in comparison to the numbers killed during World War I. We ought to shudder at the eventual death toll of 888,246 British and Commonwealth personnel, and the 125,000 US personnel who died during that terrible conflict. Sadly, the war to end all wars did not achieve that, as both Britain and America discovered to their cost. The sheer scale of the casualty figures for World War I dwarfs everything else. In addition to the death toll, there were 3 million British and Commonwealth casualties. And these figures do not include those people who were never really recovered from the effects of what we now recognise as post-traumatic stress disorder. So So whilst we rightly reflect on the sacrifices made by many personnel, past and present, let us not forget those American and British servicemen and women who remain on combat operations, potentially deadly humanitarian missions around the globe. And spare a thought for their families who remain at home, supportive of their uniformed loved one, who have to bear the burden of anxiety, hoping they never receive the knock on the door that tells them that their loved one has been killed or injured, because it is the families who ultimately bear the burden of sacrifice. And whilst time may have blunted the effects of the scale of previous conflicts, and there are fewer people each year who have lost loved ones during World War I in particular, we owe it to their memory and to those who died in subsequent conflict to pay our respects and give thanks for their selfless sacrifice. Because the families of those who've died in more recent conflicts are going through exactly the same pain and suffering as millions have before them. Because these numbers are not cold statistics, each one represents a real person who had hopes, dreams and families, just as we have. But they gave theirs up so we could continue with ours.
Dignitaries, veterans, guests, friends, cadets, the band, and especially our youth. Thank you for being here today. Thanks for joining us in the sunshine. It's making me squint my eyes. It's beautiful. We're blessed to have this opportunity to celebrate. Now, I'll be the least among us all to recognize that I'm here as a guest in your country, celebrating an event that, as we've heard, in some respects started 100 years ago, but then was repeated in World War II and then repeated in recent years. But we're here to celebrate, remember, those people that are represented in the three befitting monuments that are behind me. Those to the U.S. Army Air Forces and our U.S. Air Forces since. Those to the British Commonwealth and the British Air Forces. And those that represent the middle monument, those that lost their lives in the development of such great technologies, such as radar, that happen to be right here at this field, and other technologies that we still use today to hopefully lessen the impact and the imprecision of operations. They're represented in that middle monument, those engineers, those that lost their lives in the Cold War. That's why we're here today, to celebrate them. But I need to say thank you to the youth, because you may or may not remember, I have two young sons. Unfortunately, they're still in Germany. My oldest, the cadet that was wearing his uniform here in previous years, just finished a football game last night, so he could not join us today. But I want to say thanks to the cadets, thanks to the youth, because that is our next generation. Just last night, Saturday night, before I hopped on the airplane, I was reading an article, actually a short story, called The Scarlet Abyss. The Scarlet Abyss is a short story that's read by almost every American high school student going through school. It's a story that's more than a story about a brother and his son who was born an invalid, and the brother who teaches his son how to crawl, how to walk, how to fish, how to run, how to participate in all the youth activities that are part of growing up. It's not a story just about expectations or exceeding expectations, which is truly what it's about. The prowess of life, the performance of life, and just the sympathy that comes with being brothers. The story is also about a dose of reality, because unfortunately, there's a storm of life that occurs at the very end of that short story, and I'm not going to ruin it for anybody, but it causes a tragic conclusion. So why would I talk about such a small story? Because it gave a window of opportunity for me to talk to my youth, my sons last night, about the reason I was coming here today, the reason you are all gathered here today. Those people that are represented in the monuments behind us, they didn't expect. I'm sure they understood the sacrifice, they saw it all around them, but they weren't expecting themselves to pass away, to do that ultimate sacrifice. That's the dose of reality. For all of us out there, it is our opportunity to kind of understand and accept that they've given us something that we can carry forward. And I want to thank you and thank our youth for taking that opportunity to remember. In a few minutes, we're going to lay poppies. Those poppies are red. In the scarlet abyss, the significance of red is not only the bird who passes away, but it's also the individual who passes away. And each of us today, as I look across, are wearing red poppies because they represent the sacrifice that was given by those people in the monuments behind us. That's reality. But that's also why we're here to remember. So thank you.
Quick, hard, lift, right, lift, right, lift. Lift, right, in.
The second group, 356 ATC.
Very soon.
Very much appreciated, mate.
Let's get one.
Be on Crime Watch Wednesday night.
Super. Yeah, that'd be a bad boy.